Hey everyone, welcome to the front row. Today we're going to talk about leg pain, okay? More specifically, butt pain. Whenever I see anyone in the clinic that comes to me talking about pain, usually with prolonged sitting or pain in the back of the leg, I always think of the sciatic nerve first, okay? Until proven otherwise, the sciatic nerve is a suspect, okay? Now, two of the common things that can irritate the sciatic nerve, there's a lot of stuff, okay? But two common things that we see a lot is unfortunately a herniated disc, okay? Where you have a disc here that's bulging. For example, here, this guy is in red right here, and you can see where the foramen or the hole is being impinged by the disc, and that can irritate the nerve root, giving us pain down the leg, okay? The second thing we're going to talk about, another cause of sciatic nerve irritation, is the piriformis muscle, okay? So if we have a herniated disc, typically what happens is oftentimes it's more encompassing. So we'll get pain all the way down the leg. It's pretty debilitating, okay? And we cannot walk it off. If it's from a tight muscle, which is a Piriformis Syndrome, oftentimes after we get up, walk around a little bit, it can sometimes almost completely resolve until that muscle gets tight again. So if you feel like you have a herniated disc, you're better off going to your doctor, maybe getting some imaging done to figure out what's going on. This video is going to be a little bit more for those people that we think is more of a Piriformis Syndrome, okay? Now remember, syndrome means we don't exactly know what's going on. We're just taking some educated guesses. That's what syndrome technically means, okay? It's a grouping of symptoms that we all have a general characteristic, but we're not exactly sure what's going on, okay? But the idea is that the sciatic nerve is being irritated by a muscle that comes across here called the piriformis, okay? So the sciatic nerve is made up of nerve roots, okay? These little guys through here that come out of L4 and L5 all the way down to S1, S2, and S3. They come together, they form this big yellow thick nerve that comes down the leg, okay? This little hole right here is called the sciatic notch, and that's going to be important because that's usually going to be super tender on people that have an irritation there. So let's first meet the muscle so we'll get an idea of the relationship between the sciatic nerve and the piriformis and why a little tightness in this piriformis muscle can be so debilitating in terms of leg and butt pain, okay? So let's meet the muscle, shall we? So the view we're looking at here is the right hip deep rotator. So what we've done is we've taken away the glute max, the glute medius, and the glute minimus, and so we're looking now at the piriformis muscle. So just to get our orientation, this is the right hip. The piriformis will go from the sacrum, which is your tailbone here, to the greater trochanter of your femur, basically your leg bone, okay? Now, the reason why this muscle becomes so important is right in between the piriformis and this muscle underneath it, which is the superior gemellus muscle, lies the sciatic nerve underneath this surgical tool right here. Notice how big this is, okay? And this goes all the way down the leg and, of course, feeds the hamstrings, the gastroc, the soleus, all the way down into the foot, okay? So you can see how tightness of the piriformis muscle, because of its relationship to the sciatic nerve, can give you sciatic nerve irritation, okay? Now also here, we have this little red worm looking thing here, and down here, this is the superior gluteal artery and the inferior gluteal artery, okay? So you can see also how that tightness of the piriformis can give you what's known as ischemic pain, or basically pain from a lack of blood flow to the area. Now, one last bit of trivia. In about 17% of people, the sciatic nerve actually pierces right through the middle of the piriformis muscle, which makes those people a little bit more susceptible to sciatic pain stemming from piriformis pain. Excuse me, from piriformis tightness. So let's take a look at some exercises that we might be able to do to help this situation. So now that you've met the muscle, you have a better understanding of why a little muscle that goes right from the greater trochanter here into the undersurface of the sacrum right here can be so debilitating in terms of irritating that nerve down the leg. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple simple things that you're going to do first. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is what we call a nerve flossing or a neural glide. Okay, I'm going to pretend that my right leg is the affected leg. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I want you to imagine that we're going to try to take that nerve, which starts from here and goes all the way down, and we're just going to put a little flossing into that nerve. The nerve has to be able to glide, okay? And the idea is that maybe it's a little bit hitched up in through here, okay? So the way we're going to do that, this is really important. First thing you do is you're going to pull your foot up all the way, toes up to the ceiling. Hands go behind your back, and you're going to slouch. Yeah, I know, you get to go to therapy and slouch, right? So you're going to slouch, chin to chest, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take that leg and bring it up. Okay, now this is my non-affected side. Okay, what's normal, okay, is for your leg to come into almost complete extension, but for you to feel a little bit of pulling, okay, and it's going to feel a little bit nervy, okay, which is okay because what we're doing is we're tensioning that sciatic nerve, okay. Now, on the affected side, we want to basically compare it. So same thing, you're going to pull your foot up, chin to chest, hands go behind your back, and you're going to bring it up. And more than likely, on the affected side, you're not going to bring it up as far, and it's more likely going to be a bit painful. Okay, so once again, pain needs to be about a 5/10. We don't want to irritate things, okay? But it gives you an idea that that nerve is a little hitched up if I can only bring it up this far, whereas on the other side I can come all the way up. So the goal is to have the affected side glide like the unaffected side, okay? So what I'll have you do is about 10 of these, okay? You're going to pause at the top and then back down again. Pause at the top and back down again. After 10, okay? Now what we're going to do is before we stretch that muscle, we're going to do a little trigger point work, okay? Now, tennis ball, lacrosse ball, harder is not better. You have to find out what gives you, gets the job done but doesn't get too painful, okay? So harder is not necessarily better, okay? I'm just going to show you in the lacrosse ball here. The idea is you're going to cross your leg here, and we're going to try to put this ball basically into that sciatic notch area, okay? So it's just going to basically be to the right side of that sacrum, basically in your butt cheek, okay? So you're going to come up through here, we're going to put that right in there, and I'm going to roll up onto that ball, and I'm going to slightly lean to this right side until I find something that kind of lights it up, okay? And you'll find it. Okay, and then once you find it there, once again, you're going to explore that whole area, and you're going to spend about 30 seconds onto that spot, okay? No more than about 30 seconds, okay? And then you're going to come back out of there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to sit up nice and tall, cross your leg just like this, and now we're going to stretch it, okay? So I don't want you to collapse your spine. What you're doing is, if you look at me from the side, I'm kind of leaning forward with my spine in neutral. So I'm getting the motion from my hips. It's pretty critical, okay? So I did the nerve glide. I did the trigger point work for about 30 seconds to a minute, okay? Now I'm going to come through here, and I'm going to lean over that leg, okay? And I'm going to find that right angle that's going to give me the most amount of stretch into that area. Remember, we've got deep hip rotators, okay? So any one of these muscles, there's 5, 6 muscles in this area. Any one of those can be the offender. We don't know exactly which one it is. So you'll hear me say explore a lot. So the basic position, and then we explore. I got some clients that when they come here, they do a little twist and they say, that's it right there. Gosh, if I can release that muscle, all will be good in the world, okay? So you're going to find where that is. And once you find it, you're going to hold that there for about a 30-second count. Okay, sometimes putting a little pressure here with your elbow. Okay, another way to stretch it is to bring it across your body. Some people bring it across this way and they say, you know what, that gets it right there. Whichever one it takes. Okay, then what you'll do is after 30-second hold, okay, come back to your neural flossing again. Okay, same thing, tuck your chin. We're doing 10 of them now. Okay, we repeat that cycle 3 times. Okay, so we do 10 neural glides. Find the tennis ball or the lacrosse ball, whatever gives you about a 5/10 pain. I don't want it to be more. If the lacrosse ball is too hard, go smaller, okay, or go softer, sorry. Come back up here, find that area there. You might have more than one area. You're going to work it there, 30 seconds per tender spot. Move it around a little bit there. Wow, okay. Even if you don't have a sciatic nerve irritation, it can be sore in that area, okay? So you have to be really careful. 30 seconds, you're done. Come out of there, cross your leg here, sit up nice and tall, bend forward from the hips, and explore that stretch a little bit, okay? Like I said, you could come over here, You can come down here, a little bit of a twist. You may have to bring it up a little bit like this, but either way, once you find that real special stretch, then I want you to hold that there for about a 30-second count, okay? And then repeat that cycle 3 times, and then hopefully you can go out and do something physical. I don't want you sitting, okay? Most of the time when people have piriformis issues is they usually have a desk job, or they drive, or there's something where they sit, and that tight muscle becomes even tighter, and they go to get up. And those first few steps, they can hardly put any weight on it until it loosens up, and then they're able to go. Okay, so I understand some people need to drive for a living or sit for a living, but you need to get yourself standing up a little bit to get that piriformis muscle to relax, okay? So that little sequence that I just showed you, okay, just try it once a day first to see how you respond to it, okay? If you're not getting irritated by it, okay, then you can continue to do that throughout the day, maybe 2-3 times in the day, okay? If I'm sitting at a desk job here, it might just be better to cross my leg a little bit and to put a little bit of a stretch into that area if I can tolerate it, okay? Because usually the affected side is going to be a little knee up. It's not going to be as far. The other side is going to drop all the way down. It's going to feel like just a nice, yummy stretch. The affected side is going to feel like, ooh, wow. That doesn't feel all that great, okay? But see if you can combine those 3 exercises, see how you do. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. And remember, this is just a start, okay? You may still have to go see your physical therapist, your chiropractor, whoever, because there's a lot of things that go into it. You could have a rotated sacrum that's creating stress to the sciatic nerve, so no matter how much you rub on it or how much you trigger point it, it's not going to release. You could have a leg length discrepancy, so there's a lot of stuff that go into it, but at least this can give you something started right here, right now, that you can work on, okay? Good luck. Let's see how you do, and I'll see you later.